Welcome back, crew, to Boats vs. Haulover. Remain a Machine typically take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet, but right now we're in the middle of a special event as we come to the end of 2023 and we're recapping all the best moments down at the inlets from this past year. We started off a little over a week ago at number 22, and today we are down to number 14, but we're going to open this one off with an honorable mention as seen in these images here. Here this Wellcraft's approaching the inlet, but you notice they've come to a complete stop, and that's because there's a jet ski that's coming out, and this crew winds up taking a wave and going overboard on the jet ski, causing the boater to have to make some very evasive maneuvers last second. Really close call for this boater. Things could have gotten way out of hand quickly, but fortunately he saw him coming, was able to slam on the brakes, even with the wave coming behind him, is able to hold on and pull his way out of this. Really close call to making the list, but not quite. But let's get back to it, and we're going to start off with number 14 today, and that's going to be this Highfield making its way into Haulover Inlet. This crew of four is making their way into the inlet. We got some people in the bow facing backwards, but a very risky spot. As you can tell, we've got a heavy following sea today, and these guys take a tremendous stuffing here at the end. Normally something like this might not have made it that high on the list, but in my mind, this was a very dangerous situation. The amount of water they took right there and the low freeboard and gunnels on this easily could have had somebody going overboard, but fortunately everybody hangs on. And that's going to move us to number 13 on our list, and it's going to take us back over to Boca Inlet, where we've got a Key West working its way out. Now things are a little tricky here today. At first it looks calm until you get outside of the inlet and you hit the rollers, and that's where this crew is going to find they're going to meet their match at Boca, as they're going to get sent completely airborne as they get smacked back to back by massive breaking waves. Both Boca and Boynton have this feature. We don't typically see this at Haulover. Typically you can tell pretty quickly if Haulover Inlet's going to be rough, but both Boca and Boynton can have a nice calm day, but for whatever reason actually have clean 4 or 5 foot breaking waves once you get outside of the inlet, kind of like we see here. Fortunately this crew hangs on and everybody winds up all right in this one as well. And that's going to bring us to number 12 on our best of 2023, and that's going to have an Intrepid making its way toward the mouth of Haulover Inlet. Here you can tell it's a little bit rough, a heavy following sea, but our girl gets knocked off the front bench seat, and this is one of the things that can drive a captain wild. He's all of a sudden paying attention to what happened to the girl, and the next thing he knows, emergency maneuvers are enacted because they were heading directly for the rocks because he was looking at her instead of where he's going. Again, one of those reasons we need to move people to the back of the boat in rough conditions, because if something goes wrong and the captain has to deviate his attention to something else, things could go wrong quickly. Fortunately, this situation was disaster averted. And that's going to bring us to number 11 on our list, which is going to keep us at Haulover Inlet and bring us to an Invincible trying to make its way out. Now, this one's kind of an odd one. We don't typically see these big Invincibles having trouble getting out of the inlet, but we can see here, Cap is stuffing the bow. Now in this situation, we have people in the bow of the boat. All the weight's up there. It kind of lets us know that Captain's kind of probably doing this intentionally. But there are reasons you don't want to do this intentionally, and you're about to see why. If it's this rough on the front side of the inlet, as we start to work our way out, it's going to get a lot rougher. But now we've got all this water and all this weight in the bow of the boat. So as Captain, as we see here, starts to work his way out of Haulover, well, things are going to get worse than what they just witnessed, because all of a sudden with all the extra weight, the bow's heavy, and as they start to hit these big rollers, well, we're going to start taking a lot more water over the bow, and it's going to be a much rougher ride, and Cap will have a little bit of trouble trying to get that bow up because of the extra weight. And as we're going to see, they took a couple rough shots there, but here once they hit the breakers, they take a few more and take some more water over the bow. Once you get water in the bow in the beginning, it can turn into a dangerous situation. That's why you should avoid it at all costs and try not to. Thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying as we go through the top moments of 2023 down at the inlets. We'll continue it in the next video at number 9. If you need something to watch in the meantime, be sure to check out our other channels. We have our newest channel to the family, which is the Drain Plug Mafia channel, which features all the hilarity that goes on in boating. We do Googans of the Week, Boneheaded Boaters of the Week, and Boating News of the Week on that channel. We also have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. And of course, we got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.